Hello my love, my name is Daphne. I talk about all things spirituality and life and the journey of the soul, and today I wanted to talk about a very significant topic for me on my spiritual journey, and I know it relates to so many people, and that is what to do when you don't like yourself. Because my goodness, part of this journey of life is growing and evolving, and that means you become bigger than your lessons. That means you eventually see the parts of yourself that were dark and that you don't like, and it can be really hard to make it through those days. So today I've personally been there pretty recently as well, many times in my life, and you're just like, damn, what do I do if I don't like myself? Like, how do I like myself again? Because it's so important. It's so important into our beautiful becoming. I've started this new theme where I integrate some tarot cards as the energy for the reading and the video, because I just like having the intention and sort of what this message represents to sort of anchor in the energies. So I have two sets of cards today. The first one is just a typical tarot, and I wanted to really dive deep into the devil. I know, pretty controversial, but this represents the ego and the darkness and everything, like the underworld, which is what we're exploring, honestly, because that is where we are when we don't like ourselves. We each are experiencing and living in our ego, and the sun alongside that to help embody the light that we need to become the best version of ourselves, to actually remember our essence, our source, and help integrate and bring light into this darkness. So these are two powerful cards that are going to be the energies of today. The next set are angel cards, my beautiful angel cards. And the themes that I wanted are self-acceptance and forgiveness, because these are very important energies on our healing journey for us to actually like embody and anchor in with us for very obvious reasons when you're on your journey and you don't like yourself. Okay, thank you. So these are the intentions. So just really anchor in to these energies of like, what is it? Yeah, anchor into these energies of self-acceptance, forgiveness, and then bringing light into the darkness. So that is the intention. Cool. So before I begin, I think it is very important to acknowledge what is the self. When we talk about what to do when you don't like yourself, we first have to acknowledge who we are. Because when I say this, I'm talking about the human aspect of the self. And we are not our humans. We are an infinite soul. We are fractals of God. We are fractals of source consciousness, the spark of light that created all things. And we have been separated and divided, put under an aspect of darkness and contrast, and separated from the light to therefore experience the equal opposite inverse of our light. That is why we're here. So when we're talking about the self, I know it is so easy to become wrapped up in our human aspect and like, I am the things that I do. I am the job that I have. I am my status. I am how I think about myself. But in reality, we are so much more infinite and expansive and so much more than our humans, than our ego self. And that is this. Our ego puts us in a box when we are this. We are the sun, we are limitless, and we are infinite and infinite potential. So that's where I wanted to start off with, because when people don't like themselves, they are caught in their box. They are caught in the aspect of self that has done something under the pretense of our human self. And this is so important to remember, because this is how we walk the path to forgiveness for self. When we realize that what we have acted out of is a moment of darkness, is a moment of separation from our truth, because our truth is pure love and light. It is. That is the essence of our soul, because that is the essence of God. That is the essence of Source. That is the essence of life that created all things. It is the separation from that, the space outside of that, that it does not exist because it's not the creator. It's just the absence of creation. And that is when we act out of the absence of our soul, the absence of who we are, the forgetting of who we are, the forgetting of what we are inside. That is when we don't like ourselves. So, I hope this is clear for you. I really do, because this is necessary for the path of forgiveness and self-acceptance. Oh my gosh, this is why I chose these cards. I'm excited. Okay, so I have a series of things to do after this, okay? Number 1 is you must not attach yourself to the thing that you have done or the thing that you don't like. So do not attach yourself or define yourself as that thing, but you also simultaneously have to take radical acceptance for that part of you, that thing that you did. And this is a very interesting dance, actually. So I'll kind of address the first aspect. When you attach to the thing that you've done, or the part of you that you don't like, or the aspect that you just don't like looking at yourself, when you attach yourself and define yourself as that, that is yourself putting you in a box. And it's very hard to see the higher picture of forgiveness, for self-acceptance of your light, when you are attached and defining yourself as that thing. However, at the same time, we cannot disassociate, because the spiritual community loves to disassociate. That is the foundation of New Age spirituality, when you don't feel the pain and you just say love and light is all there is and that is fine. No, it is not about radical disassociation. It is about radical acceptance and radical responsibility. Because when you take responsibility for what you've done as the responsible adult, you can look at that thing, that part of you, and say, I see you, and I acknowledge that I am not you. And I own you, because I'm not scared to claim that space that you hold within me. And I take full accountability that I was not in my fullness. I was acting out of a space that was less than me. And I feel the pain, because everything that we do comes from a state of pain within. Everything that we do that's not in our embodiment of the soul and not embodiment of love or light is from a wounded place. Now we need to really face those wounds in order to integrate them and heal them. And like through taking radical responsibility is how we stop the cycle. The cycle keeps repeating because people don't want to take responsibility for what they need to take responsibility for, because it's too scary, it's too shameful, it's too whatever it is, that they don't want to face that part of themselves. But that is part of the healing, and that is so necessary. And the only time that you can truly face that part of yourself is when you know, this is not me. This is a fragment of me and what it looks like when I'm not in my power, but I am so much bigger than this, and I own this part of me, knowing that I am so much bigger than it. So that is step 1, and it is so necessary. We must feel that pain at some stage, otherwise the pain is going to keep coming through our actions until we are forced to look at our reckoning, look at the chaos that we cause in our life just from this one piece of pain that wants to be witnessed. And that is the purpose of life. That is why we're here. We are here to expand, and we expand by bringing light into our darkness and feeling the pain, knowing that we have space to feel the pain. We have capacity to feel the pain because I'm greater than my pain. You know, it's like, yeah, the pain does not define you. So you feel it, you own it, and you bring light into it, knowing that you are not it. And it's when people feel smaller than their pain, feel smaller and unworthy of love and unworthy of light and unworthy of their soul and God, that they don't take accountability for their actions. Oh, I also just want to say, as I mentioned, we bring light into that pain through acknowledging it and through feeling it and through loving it. And then this takes me to point number 2, learning to love the smaller parts of you. So as I mentioned, this has happened because it's from a wounded place, from a place that's disconnected, and from a trauma that hasn't been integrated yet, frankly. And so when you become the responsible adult, when you become the consciousness who is more evolved than the trauma, who is more evolved than this smaller aspect of you, and I mean smaller in every way. I mean smaller in terms of energy, in terms of light, in terms of time. It's obviously something in the past. In terms of consciousness, and in terms of expansiveness. So when you have capacity to love this smaller part of you, this is part of your highest expansion. And perhaps I'm making this sound easy. It's not easy because you're really meant to feel it. And that's why you don't like yourself in the first place, right? But the love is so necessary, and this is going to be so hard. Because you're meant to feel it, and because you're meant to truly face the parts of you that feel so unworthy, the parts of you that feel so shameful, that feel so unloved, that feel so dark and separated. And it's their truth, you know, but you have to want to be the higher consciousness that witnesses that child and says, I see you. I am here to give you all the love that you never got, because you did nothing wrong. You are innocent at your heart. And I am so sorry I didn't love you. I am so sorry that I abandoned you. And I am here to hold space for you, because you have always been enough, because you've always been worthy. Whatever that child needs to hear, you tell that child. Whatever that smaller part of you needs to hear, you feel it, because it is part of you. And perhaps if it helps, you can feel the darkness, right? It's going to feel like this energy. And you know what emotion feels like? It's going to feel like this strong emotion in your body. I want you to identify where that is. Put it into a ball. Condense it. See this ball and just give it so much light and love until it becomes that. And you say to this part of you, I see you and I accept you, and I have space for you in my body. You've never been separate from me, and I claim you. So this is a bit of a remembrance into your truth, into who you are, because you are love. So there's nothing not to like about yourself. And it's a journey. It truly is a journey. But when you can take accountability and responsibility for what you've done, also you know that and you heal the trauma that has initiated these acts, you know, I'm not going to do this again. And I am not this. And I have felt the pain that comes from this. And I have felt the hate, the shame, whatever it is about yourself that you've made you not like yourself. I've felt that, and I've integrated it, and I am not that. So that's the second thing. Now I want to give some very real examples of what it is that I am talking about. So let's say, for instance, you realize that you have a certain personality trait. Let's call it arrogance. And the people around you are saying, you're really arrogant sometimes, or you're so arrogant. There's two paths that someone can acknowledge this. The first path is like, no, I'm not. Like, what are you talking about? This is why I do this. This is why I do this. And then the second part, to actually acknowledging, putting into practice all the things that I just mentioned, would be stepping out of that, right? Listening to what these people say and reflecting on self. Like, okay, why do I behave this certain type of way? So then you look at it, right? And you probably think, wow, I do this because it's a defense mechanism. And it's a defense mechanism because I don't think I can act from love in this instance, because if I act from love, it's vulnerable, it's weak, and I will be not winning per se in the exchange. It's often from a point where we feel we have to fight for something, from a little child, where we didn't get the love shown to us, where we developed this trait, let's call it arrogance, that therefore we witness and we practice giving love to that part of ourselves. And when you give love to yourself in this instance, you realize, I am not weak for being gentle. I am not weak for acting out of a state of love. This actually takes real strength, because to defend is the easy one. To be vulnerable, to keep my heart open, and to trust in my own power is what's difficult. And so I shall do that. Another example would be if someone in their childhood felt that they had always been causing chaos, had been blamed for something in their childhood, and then they take that pattern into their relationship. And one day they just break down and they're just like, oh, I'm so sorry. They hate themselves. They're like, oh, it's all me. I'm so sorry. And they start abusing themselves. For instance, in this instance, you would witness the small child that is talking right now. You would witness the aspect of self that is hurt. And you would really look them in the face, and you would connect to that little part of you, and you would realize, I am not that. It was not my fault. And what I've done now is a reflection of my trauma. And I am willing to look at my trauma, to feel my trauma, and to become the bigger adult of that. And so then you witness that part of self. You radically accept it, then you give it space within your body, and you become the parent. And then you accept your trauma, you accept your actions, because you understand where they came from. Number 3, okay? This is the healing part. So you've just done the healing. Now this is post-healing and like the actions to keep doing afterwards. So I need you to understand that our energy is not just us. Like, who we define ourselves is actually a great rainbow and myriad of energy and factors that influence so much of our experience. There is our soul and our consciousness, which is probably our purest and most untainted aspect of self. Essence is probably a better word, because self refers to the ego. And then there is our energy in this human vessel, which very much shapes our experience. And that is influenced by our karma, our lineage, our environment, our day-to-day, our traumas, our family. So much actually influences our energy, which therefore influences how we perceive ourselves. You know how like people who are depressed or anxious perceive themselves as depressed or anxious, or who aren't in alignment with abundance might perceive themselves as poor, but that's not them, that's their energy imprint, and that can be influenced from generations, is what I'm trying to say. From so many generations, it can just be one belief that therefore programs the whole system and is like, I am this. But in reality, you are not that. That is a program that is running within this computer that we are, and we are something so much greater than that. So understand that you and your energy is not entirely yours. You are not who you think you are. Now, the key to this, what to do with this information, is to get really clear on your energy and consciously defining yourself. So you need to start honoring your energy, start cleaning doing ancestral healing to really rewrite the programs that are running in your DNA, that are running in your body, that you do not claim. Honor your energy. Stop drinking alcohol. Don't consume the things that you know you're not meant to consume. Like, you know in your life what is an addiction, right? Let's call them addictions. Things that drain your energy, things that are not a positive influence. You need to take radical accountability for what in your life is not serving you. And you already know what that is. It's just if you want to see it or not. Don't let someone say, this is light and this is dark and this is, good for you and this is bad for you. I 100% recommend looking to those that are more experienced and wiser as guidance, but not as gospel. Know your own truth, know your own gospel. You create it, okay? And it's something that I see far too often when people are looking to help do their energy, that they don't find their own truth. But honestly, there are energy practices and there are energy tools that will help you to stabilize your energy. So things such as meditation, breath work, a daily ritual, even just journaling every single morning. You need to have a ritual where you honor you. There are things that raise your vibration and things that lower your vibration, and you will feel what they are, okay? So you really need to honor your energy if you want to step into this empowered state of self, because it is that. Our energy is our power. And when you set the intention that I am going to honor my energy because I am going to honor myself, it shall be. And you will feel stronger for it, okay? So I wanted to also open up the channel to Q&A. And one of the questions that I received was, what if you've done something really bad? Like, how do you like yourself after that? How do you forgive yourself after that? Yeah, what if it is beyond forgiveness? I was crying when I was thinking about this question, like, oh my gosh. I was feeling the love from God. Because we are all innocent at our being. It's just when we act out of a distortion from our remembrance, from our being, that we make mistakes. But the essence of who we are is pure innocence. It's just sometimes we need to go on the hero's journey of remembering that. So there are a few things I want to say to this. Number one is that God does not see your imperfections. God sees who you are at a soul level, which is your source energy, because it's you. It is you. God is inside of you. God gave you parts of himself, herself, itself to come here and experience. And the only person who needs to remember that is you. The deepest and the most person who needs to forgive yourself and who will punish yourself is you. And please know that you are not above forgiveness, that there is light within you. And the thing is, you are just being called to connect with that light. You're being called to let God in. And when I say God, I don't mean God as in the God that religion paints. I mean the creator of everything. I mean the spark of life, the one who is feeding you life, who is keeping you connected to life right now, the one who sees all the force of energy and consciousness that flows through all things. That is God. It is all that there is. It's not some man in the sky that is judging and persecuting everyone. No. God is the life that feeds love. God is the source of energy that flows and connects me to you. God sees all, and God knows why. And God just truly loves us all so much. And when I say connect with God, I mean connect with that love. Because the reality is, everything is a learning experience, okay? And there's one aspect of me that knows the laws of karma. that knows that everything has an equal, opposite, inverse. But I also believe if you feel the pain, if you truly feel the pain of the pain that you have caused, and you work through that and you bring light into it, that's sort of like what karma is. It's like if there's an imbalance in something that you haven't acknowledged or you haven't experienced or you haven't felt, and that will be felt in the next lifetime. That is like a score against your energy. It's your energy, by the way. Like, this isn't God being like, you must pay your debt. It's your energy, then, just the way that the balance and your soul would want to experience as well. So if you truly feel and experience and integrate and heal everything you need to feel, and remember that you are so much more, and that you are innocent, and that you are love and light, like truly, but through feeling the pain, through actually giving the pain that light of you, then I believe that the karma wouldn't be necessary, because you have balanced the scales through your experience. Because what is energy? Energy is an experience. Energy is consciousness, and if that is brought to light through consciousness, then consciousness settled, scales settled. Look, I'm not sure. I'm not a karma expert, but I just believe this makes sense in terms of the way that energy works. Yeah, and I would also just like to say that you do not get to hold immense amounts of light without experiencing the equal opposite amount of darkness. Because the way that light works, the way that expansion works, is that imagine you're in a box, right? And you've got all the light, and you're just this box of pure light, but you're like 1 square meter in diameter. And you're like, man, okay, this is all I am. I'm pure light, but I'm 1 square meter. The only way to actually expand your light is to fill it into the space that surrounds the box, which is not filled with light already, which is the darkness. So to become expansive, because light, it's just like infinite, it just keeps expanding. So to become enlightened, you just learn the art of expanding your light into darkness, which means experiencing darkness and alchemizing that through light. So I believe great spiritual teachers, really great spiritual teachers, have been to the depth of darkness to expand their light, to therefore hold their light. So don't attach too much to this, to the things that we do. Yes, they are very real in this moment in time. Yes, they are very real, but your soul is more real. Yes, they demand to be felt. This is not about dissociation whatsoever. They demand to be felt, because that is why God, that is why you are here. God came to experience itself through the splitting, through the separation of self, of source, to see all of the beautiful facets that light is expressed when light is in darkness, when light is disconnected from light. That's what we're here to experience. So that is it for today. If you are going through this at the moment, please just know that you are so worthy. I really hope this helps, because honestly, like, I have been here lately. There are things that I have to face about myself, and I'm just like, damn, I really don't like this, you know? And I just think, like, what do you do if you don't like yourself? Like, how the heck do you overcome that? So this is sort of something I've been thinking about for a little while, and I wanted to share it with you because it's such a part of the human journey. This is so part of being human and of part of our spiritual evolution. I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much, love.